What was the origin of the Cookers?
Origin of the Cookers is I remember when I was in medical school. The first record, The Night of the Cookers, I don't know if you're familiar with that, with Freddie
Sure.
Hubbard and Lee Morgan.
Yep.
Well, this is when I was chasing Freddie Hubbard and Lee Morgan around like a little puppy, going to the, because in medical school, I was in Washington, D.C., every Saturday, every weekend, I would drive up to New York. On Saturday, I'd be at Freddie Hubbard's house watching him practice. Every Sunday, I would be at Lee Morgan's house
Wow.
watching and playing duets with him and going around club hopping with them. They'd allow me to sit in, pat me, and my nice puppy, So that was so the Night of the Cookers was the origin of the Cookers, that music.
Mhm.
And the present group, the Cookers, is a derivative of that first night at the La Marchal Club in Brooklyn. It was actually 2 nights. I picked Freddie Hubbard up both nights, took him to the gig, and took him back home. So it's a wonder I finished medical school, because I was really, on the trail of just wanting to be a musician, but I could not quit because of the vow, the bet I had with myself, with my stepfather.
Sure, right.
I had to finish.
Yeah, isn't that something else?
Out of spite.
Yeah. Oh man, what did you learn from Freddie Hubbard and Lee Morgan getting to hang with
Oh,
them and
well,
listen and practice?
as we talked about before, my first music hero was Miles Davis, trying to emulate him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember one time Miles Davis, I used to ask Miles how did he play a ballad so pretty, and he told me by him listening to singers, the way they phrased.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was impressed by that. That's how I would always try to play in the style of Miles Davis. And then I remember one time, this one I was still in college. Miles Davis was staying at my parents' house, and my parents said, "Well, look, Eddie, we're paying for all these lessons for you at the San Francisco Conservatory in high school. Play for Miles." So I'd been listening to Miles's records. So by ear, I put on Sketches of Spain. Miles is in the living room listening to play with his record. I had a lucky day. I didn't miss a note, both sides of the record. And so I ran up to Miles and said, "Well, how'd you like that, Miles?" He smiled and looked at me and said, "You sound good, but that's me."
Yeah.
And then then the next time he came to town, and he walks in the door, he rings the bell, I open the door, he looks at me. The first thing he said, "Are you still trying to sound like me, Eddie?" But in the interim before that, the year before that, my stepfather informed me that Miles Davis's hero when he was growing up was Freddie Webster. Miles tried to imitate Freddie Webster's style, sound, concept, everything. So when Miles asked me, "Am I still trying to sound like him?" I said, "You mean Freddie Webster?" So Miles smiled at me and said, "Everybody's a thief." He said, "I just made a short-term loan." So that was my logo at that particular time. So to answer your question, you asked me about Lee Morgan and Freddie Hubbard. Well, after my first hero, Miles Davis, kind of never waned. That's still part of my musical being.
Mm-hmm.
I started, hearing Freddie's style, Lee's style, and that it, hit a nerve in my musical being. I started trying to play like them. And then also Book a Little. I love the way he played too.
Sure, yeah.
Because they're all from that same generation. And I started trying to play like Lee, started to play like Freddie, started to play like Booker, tried to play like Miles, tried to play like Clifford Brown. So nowadays people come up to me and said, and I would like steal phrases from each one of those people that I admired, and it became part of my musical sound or projection. So nowadays people come to me and say, "Oh, Eddie, I like your style." Then I say, My style? No, that's just shit I've stolen from other people. Together.
Yeah.